to Hate to Wait, where two lifelong dieters talk about their current struggles with weight loss. Diets, we've tried them all. We are not doctors. We don't play them on TV or on this podcast. Join our journey because misery loves company.
Hi, Emily.
Oh, hi, John.
Did you get much sleep last night? Because I saw things and I was wondering, did you stay and edit or did you get some sleep?
No, I got some sleep. The two
okay,
people
good.
who voted that late at night voted for me to get more sleep. So I was like, okay. Don't tell me to. Also, after about 20 minutes of being online late at night and asking if I have to go on social media and ask if I should stay up and then I stay around on Instagram and wait for the answer, I'm done. My ADHD has taken over and it's time for me to go to bed because whatever I do that would normally take a half hour, that late at night, it will take 3 hours.
Yes.
So
I totally agree with you.
And I need to learn that. That's one of those things I have to keep reminding myself over and over and over and over again is I can't push myself. There's always tomorrow. Yes, this is technically late, but it was already late by 3 weeks. So, I mean, what's another 12 hours?
Right. Exactly. So, but then you came in this morning and Google was giving you fits.
Oh,
Your
Google.
assistant.
My assistant. I know. I think I need to fire my assistant. No, actually, I need to train my assistant to recognize my specific voice. And the funny thing, I barely use my Google Home Assistant on my desk for reminding me of things. I usually use the stuff upstairs, and then I have the reminders pop up on my phone or in Google Calendar, and I see that when I come down to my office. I have to set up my Google Office or my Google Home in the office to recognize my voice so I can remind me of things that I want to do when I go upstairs now.
You should go upstairs and tell Google upstairs to remind you to set up your Google downstairs.
I mean, I could do it on my phone too. That's kind of the nice thing about having just a whole Google ecosystem going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got me into it. I do the same thing.
It spoils me. You kind of, at this point, I think technology, how much it's progressed and also how slow humans are to kind of catch on. We need those second brains. I've already given my husband the distinction. I'm like, you are my brain for this, 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 and this. I'll be your brain for this. But, and then we have Google, who's just like, okay, neither of us are going to remember this. So we're going to have Google remind us. And we're going to set another reminder so that we don't miss the first reminder. I mean, it's gotten to that point.
I totally agree with you because I still find stuff that I forget to do. I have to set up all kinds of little lists. And the only thing that I really stopped doing was the Post-its because they were everywhere. And then what happened is then they become just clutter, which then they become background, which means that I don't have, I know. I'm not judging.
Oh, no. I'm not taking it as judgment. I'm saying I am the same way. This Post-it note just says podcast math. 2 + 4 = chicken. That's all it says.
That was from Tuesday night.
I know. But it was so funny. I wanted to remember it.
Yes.
And it gave me a chuckle when I came downstairs today.
It's exactly. Because I was trying to do podcast math. And not only that, I was trying to do percentages and then remember the percentages that equal 100. And then we said, you can't do podcast math because podcast math is 2 + 2 = chicken.
We can't. It's bad. It's hard.
Chicken.
It's hard. So, John, let's get into it. You went to the doctor's yesterday. I'm excited to hear. How did it go?
Okay, so I was all anxious about going to, because I didn't have to go to the doctors. I had to go to the hospital. And, unfortunately, I have severe, like the arthritis in my legs, in my knees, and my hips. I don't realize how actually bad it is because I've set up my own ecosystem here so I can get around, where I know how to get the wash down. I know, what I do here is sedentary and I'm not really going anywhere. And, even when I go upstairs to cook and make food and everything, I have a setup where I don't have to stand for very long and all. So I was all anxious about just not the tests, getting there. What am I going to have to do? Now I was talking to Samantha about it and I said to her, you know what? I just got to get over the fact that it might be embarrassing if I have to ask for a wheelchair to take me there because I can't get there. It might be embarrassing, but I'm going. Okay. I'm not going. I'm not. So of course I couldn't sleep the night before. I woke up at 4:00 in the morning. I could not get back to sleep. I said, fine. I get up, I get a shower, I get everything ready to do. I can't eat either. I'm not allowed to eat. I wasn't allowed to eat. because I was getting an upper GI and ultrasound and a chest X-ray
And this was all for
the bariatric
your-
surgery. Yes, they're just doing tests. So I get up, I get to the hospital, I go to the valet park, I come in, I go into registration. I'm trying to I make it to register. I walk to registration, and now I'm saying registration's maybe 150 yards in the building. So I get to registration, and my knees are killing me. So I said to them, listen, I think I'm going to need how far is this place? And they said, oh, you got to go down. And I said, I might need somebody to take me there. Very nice. They go, they get me the wheelchair. I get in a wheelchair. They take me there. I get there, and, you're going through the tests. Like the chest X-ray is not that bad. The ultrasound's no big deal. And the only thing is, it's awkward because they're rubbing that thing all over you, right? And they're
What is it?
Well, with the ultrasound, they take that probe and they put it on you, and they're checking my liver, because they got to know how big my liver is. Apparently, my liver is the size of Texas. And then the other thing they're checking is your gallbladder. So they're like, oh, look, nice. She goes, oh, no stones. She goes, that's amazing. A gentleman of your age not having any gallstones. She's not even any sludge in there. I go, well, you know something about that gallbladder. I give that thing a workout because I eat plenty of fat. So she's like, oh, okay. I said, out of everything in my body, probably my gallbladder's like ripped. It's probably got a 6-pack. I got a gallbladder with a 6-pack. So then I go into
That needs to be a t-shirt. I have a hot gallbladder.
Yeah.
My gallbladder's hot.
I might look like a melted candle, but my gallbladder
You should see my
is
gallbladder.
ripped. Right. So I go in. Now you got to go into get the upper GI, which is where you got to drink that milkshake. It's a thick, it's got a slight minty strawberry flavor kind of thing.
That sounds awful.
It's horrible.
That sounds so bad. Is that supposed to be the flavor to make it taste better?
I guess it's an 8-ounce styrofoam cup, all right, with a straw in it. So you get in there and you stand up, and then what they do is they're taking pictures while you're drinking this. You have to drink it while you're doing it. So the woman, and everybody there was so super nice. So they're like, okay, when we tell you start drinking it now, they said the flavor's not really, she goes, it's not good, but you're going to have to drink it anyhow. I said, neither's tequila, but it's never stopped me. So I go in there and I start drinking this stuff. And then afterwards they take pictures, move you all around. Then they put you on a table and they're moving you around, take a picture here, move over here, lay on your back, lay on your side, move your arm up here. I felt like I was doing a centerfold spread for obesity illustrated, because it's like,
I picture the George Costanza
exactly.
photo.
I was thinking leaning, arching my back, all that. So, once I got done, I was done about 11:30. And the last thing the lady says, listen, you're going to have to drink a lot of water to get this fluid out of you. Because I drank 2.5 cups of that, which is like 20 ounces of it. It was horrible.
God.
And she says, and it could do one or two things. It could give you diarrhea or constipation. I said, ooh,
Fun.
great. I don't know which one to wish for. Well, thank God I didn't have to, because I had both. By the time I got home, I come in, the car's up on 2 wheels trying to get in here.
How is that even a thing? You have both. That's
Well,
awful.
because yesterday I had the one, and this morning I had the other.
Oh.
So, yeah. And again, I don't know if it's from that or the walking, but last night was horrible. I could not, it was so painful to move around. And then this morning, getting up and getting things loosened up was tough. But, and I feel swollen right now. And I don't explain that, but I feel swollen. And I know that I am swollen. And then here's the thing. I couldn't take the whooshy pill yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't take it this morning because I got a lot of stuff going on. So I can't take it until later on today. So I just feel very bloated.
Very bloated.
Yeah, very watery. Is that a word?
Yes. Yes. That's how I feel during my period. I'm just like,
Okay.
it's like the word bloated isn't strong enough for sometimes how I
it's
feel.
swollen. I feel very swollen. Yeah, I needed a cork yesterday. Do they have that? Well, they do have it, but it's not really for the same thing. And I'm not doing that. Yeah, so that was it. And again, I only have 2 more things to go through, which is I have to do the in a week I have to go for a cardiac test, and then they do a pulmonary test, and that's in July. So we're right on schedule. But you know what's really funny too?
Yeah.
Is if you don't tell me, like yesterday I came in and I said, hey, I'm here doing the test because I just wanted to share with the group because I was sitting there and I didn't forgot my earbuds, so I couldn't listen to podcasts, and I just wanted to talk to somebody. So I just pulled up the group thing and just started talking. Hey, I'm in here getting my test done. So my ex-wife calls my daughter and says, why's your dad having tests? And it's, because now all of a sudden it's like, well, you announce on Facebook. I said, well, because my ex is in here in this group.
Mm.
And I said, I didn't announce on Facebook. I just announced it in the group. I said, it was no big deal. If it was a big deal, I would have told you. But it's funny because as soon as you go to the hospital for testing or something, everybody freaks out.
I went to the hospital a few days ago, and it wasn't for me. It was to visit somebody. And I posted on Instagram where I was, and I was like, oh, I'm in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And I showed, lovely Bridgeport. And then I had a post that was a nice quote they had on the wall. And I posted that on Instagram, and I tagged Bridgeport Hospital. And all of a sudden I got 2 DMs like, are you okay? What are you doing there? And I was just like, I'm fine. Not everybody who goes to the hospital is like the patient.
They have visitors passes because there's visitors.
I had to park on the top row, the top level of the parking garage because there were so many visitors. But yeah, so.
Yeah. And again, everybody was really, really nice. And I got in and I got out. It wasn't a big deal. So, but I mean, what was it? I forget how many steps even with that, I had like over 3,000 steps yesterday, which is, I need to start doing something where I can get in more steps. I don't care what it is. I gotta try to push. I don't know if pushing through this is going to make things worse or better. I don't know, but sooner or later, I got to try to start pushing through this. But I do definitely feel swollen today, and it might be from the walking too.
You know what you need to do is you need to find some activity or something that will quickly give you 100 steps. So where I used to work, it used to take me 100 steps to go from my desk around the long way to the water cooler to fill up my water bottle and then come back. And that was 100 steps. And I knew that I could get that 100 steps really easily during the day. The same to the bathroom because the bathroom is kind of in the same place. Yeah. I could still make that loop for 100 steps. And that was just such an easy way to rack up my walking for the day because I was like, it's 100 steps. It's under a minute to do. If I just do this a few times a day, I'll be fine. And not to make a big thing of, okay, at lunch, I'm going to spend that whole lunch hour walking and getting 3,000 steps all in my lunch hour. And if I don't do that, oh my gosh, I'm a failure. I might as well not even do anything. It's like those tiny little habits. And I think that's what we need to work into our routines more often than these big, giant habits. Even with yoga, I'm able to do that every single day because it's only 10 minutes. Sometimes I'll spend more than 10 minutes, and that's usually when I'm like really in the, oh, this feels really good stage. But just because I know it's on my to-do list and I know it's not a big block of time, as soon as I reach my hands over my head, I'm like, okay, this is it. We're going to do yoga now because I've already started, so I might as well. It's only 10 minutes.
See, it's okay. Maybe I should try some of that. My youngest daughter is dating a trainer. He trains at a gym.
Oh.
And he's like, I could train you. And I said, I don't know if you really want that. I said, I'm a really, really bad client when it comes to this because I'll yell at you. I said, I fired trainers before. He's like, no, I'll do it. He says, I've been researching people with arthritis. And he looked at me and I went, it's fat. You could say it. It's fat.
Cross that boyfriend's name off the list.
No, he's a good guy. Really good guy. And I talked to my daughter and she said, he wanted to help. And I said, well, let's see what happens. So, yeah, I'm not turning anything away, number one. And then the other thing, too, I noticed is that it seems like every third day, for me, it seems like it's every third day is a bad eating day. But the other two are really, really good. And then when I got done at the hospital, I was already out. So I stopped at KFC, and that was a disaster. And again, if anybody is following me on my Fitness Pal, you can see because I put it in there. So, but So maybe that's part of it too. I don't know. But that was my week. More activity than I normally get. More anxiety than I'm normally used to. But I got through it. No big deal.
Do you find the anxiety affects the scale no matter what you eat?
I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't know. What I find anxiety is a huge waste of time. A huge waste of time and energy and emotion. Because you're going to do it anyhow. What's going to happen is going to happen. You're an adult. You know how to deal with it. Stop it.
It's one of those things that I have to constantly tell myself, you've dealt with other stuff in the past.
Worse stuff.
Yeah, you will deal with this. You will deal with whatever comes. But at the time of anxiety, it's such a strong emotion and it's tough.
Yeah, I was up at 4:00 in the morning because I'm having a panic attack. My heart's pounding. I have chest pains. I'm sweating. Most people would be on their way to the hospital, because they think they're having a heart attack. I just know that I'm having a panic attack. So I get up and I'm just like, stop it. I go in, do the shower thing, try to break anything, put on a podcast, listen to news, anything to take my mind off of what's going on here. And I get mad at myself. I'm like, really? We're going to the doctors. We're not jumping out of a plane. This is the conversations I'm having with myself. We're not, there's nothing dangerous what we're doing here. Why is your brain, what happened? Now, I've had major concussions, and they say that can affect panic attacks and depression. That can cause some of that because of, brain injuries or whatever. I don't know, but I have them. And there's nothing I could do about it.
Well, I think also because we are getting older, and the more that we stray from our routines, the more anxious we get about it. Because, you've never done those tests before, have you?
Well, actually, yes, I have. I did them before last time. 2 years ago, I've done them.
Oh, you got as far as the tests?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
All I had to do was go through the 2 weeks of liquid diet, and they gave me a date, and I lost my mind. I quit. Yeah. I was like, I'm not doing it. You ever see the meme of that baby that comes running in like, and then all of a sudden,
and then, oh no,
turns around and goes, that was me. That's me. And now, I'm really mad at myself for not doing it back then because, I can't be mad at myself because if I did it back then, I wouldn't be doing this now. I wouldn't be here right now. So I can't go back and wish away what's going on now because I still think that what we do here, or if anybody's listening to my journey and they're on the fence and they're going to say, well, if he did it and he's a wuss when it comes to this stuff, I can do it.
And you have 200 plus people now in a Facebook group following your journey, and they will be there every step of the way. So honestly, anytime you come into the group and you post something like, I'm in the hospital, I'm waiting around, people...
I was shocked.
Before I even saw the post, it was like 12 comments. I'm like, whoa, okay.
And even here in the comments in here, they're really, really supportive, and it's great. And to be honest, okay, so here's the craziest thing about this, and this is why I know I'm going through it this time, is because I would be able to disappoint myself, but I can't disappoint the members in this group.
No.
Right. So for me, it's very easy that I know I'm going through with this, and it's because the members of this group. It's not because of me being brave or anything like that, because I'm white knuckling it all the way. I'll tell you right now, flat out, I don't want to do this. I would love to be able to be on a diet and not have to go through the surgery and all that. I don't want to, but I have to. It just is what it is.
Is this the surgery? My mom got something. I think she may have gotten the sleeve or the...
Yeah, this is the gastric sleeve. This is where they don't...
Did they actually go in, or are these like the 3 pin pricks or the 3 how does it work? Tell me how it works.
I think they use, and again, I'm not 100% sure, but I use, if you go to Instagram and there's a hashtag VS something sleeve surgery. I'll have to look it up. We'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah.
It's, if I go to Instagram right now, it'll pop right up because it's in my feed the whole time.
Is it VSG?
VSG, yes. Okay. Hashtag VSG on Instagram. You'll see where the people are, posting pictures and there's a lot. I'm scrolling like a monkey and there's not one now. Before you could not 3 scrolls and not see one. Now I can't find one.
And is it one of those animations of how it works?
Well, it's like, I think there's either 3 or 5, and they punch holes in you, and they go in orthoscopically. And then, because you see afterwards, they got like 3 patches of bandages around you.
Because so they don't slice you open to do this, is what I'm really asking. This isn't like...
That's why they have to shrink your liver, because if your liver's in the way, they'd have to open you up. They couldn't do it. Yeah, so that's why they want you to shrink your liver.
Huh.
Yeah, it's weird.
I love this stuff because we normally don't think about the stuff that's going on in our internal organs as we're moving throughout the day until something like this comes up and you're like, oh man, do I have a fat liver? I haven't thought about this before. Right.
It's hashtag VSG community.
Okay.
And they have a lot of before and after pictures, and it's a great little follow if you're going through something like this.
Yeah, there are a few hashtags I'm seeing. There's VSG, VSG surgery, VSG support, VSG community, hashtag bariatric surgery, hashtag gastric sleeve, hashtag weight loss transformation. So yeah, there are a lot.
Mm-hmm. Stephanie in the chat saying, are you going to get the skin removal surgery? Don't know. It depends. It depends on what I look like afterwards. I would imagine there's going to have to be some of it because it becomes an issue where if you have too much, you have to have it removed because it'll start to, there's issues, the reasons why you have to have it, medical reasons why you have to have it. So probably there, but I'm not really worried about that. Listen, I'm 57. I'm never going to have a beach body.
No, if you go to the beach and you have a body,
right,
you have a beach body.
Yes. Now, this is all 100% to be able to be more mobile and get out and do things. And I think once that I know that, and I do this and push this more often, I will not have these panic attacks when I'm going to the doctors because it's not a big deal. Anna says, I will need skin surgery as I have over 200 pounds to lose. Yeah, see, but again, even with that, even when you're following these hashtags in Instagram, they'll have people that have had the surgery. I mean, you get through it.
Yeah.
I can't even think of that, whether I'm going to have skin surgery right now. I just got to have...
You are focusing on today. You're just like, I don't have tests today. That's all I care about.
Right. Yes. I'm just waiting for the date because that's everything. You have a date yet? Nope, not yet. No date. No date for the prom yet. But once I have that down and, that's when it'll get very, very real.
What should we do for your date? Should we do something special in the group for John's date, everyone? I would love for you to weigh in.
Yes.
To make you feel better. Like, I don't know what your schedule will be for that day. I'm assuming you're going to be up super early and maybe not see anything till the end. And are you going to be all doped up on drugs and stuff? Because that's when you should come live in the group.
Please, I'm praying that I doped up on drugs. I don't want to go through this thing. I don't really want to know what happens. I talked to Michelle, and she's been through this. And, she kind of told me that, afterwards you have, like what they do is when they go in with these orthoscopic things, they pump you full of air.
Oh.
Yeah, so they can see. Like they kind of separate things and they pump you through the air. So they go, and when you get done, you have to get that air to come out. Like it's got to move around and come out. And it's not like it's gas because it's in your cavity. It doesn't have a way to get out. It's kind of, I don't know what it does. It does something. And so it does what it does. It takes a couple of days and they say that's a little uncomfortable. And I'm sure.
So there's going to be a lot of chair squeaking in the episodes?
Maybe.
That was the chair.
Yeah, that was the chair. And then the other thing is too, I'm afraid I'm going to be a grumpy Gus because you're taking away my coping mechanism. What am I going to want to do and how am I going to feel?
So we probably have 2 months, about a few weeks.
I'm still saying probably the end of July I'll have a date. I'm guessing. I have no idea. Everybody calm down.
Well, no, the reason I ask is because I think now would be a good time for you to try different coping mechanisms. And try to find something that you can maybe use at the end when you know you're definitely going to need it.
Okay. I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to feel. So I don't know what I'm going to need to cope with. And then am I going to be able to do anything? Like, in other words, how am I going to move around? Is that going to affect everything? How am I going to cope with anything? I don't know. Like anything else, I will throw myself into the middle of it and figure it out once I'm there. That's worked for me my whole life.
I feel like that's what everybody should be doing.
Yeah, because you plan and then you go in there and then the plan goes awry and then what do you do? Then you're panicking because your plan didn't go well, or you're worried because your plan, or you're upset because your plan didn't go well. You know, it's like when a woman plans one of them crazy super weddings and then all of a sudden it rains and they're like, oh my God. And the whole day's ruined because they just never decided to go with the flow.
My cousin gave me the best advice before my wedding. And he's like, something will go wrong.
Sure.
Wrap your head around that right now. And it'll make your wedding that much better because it will not go perfectly. And as soon as he said that to me, I was like, you are absolutely right. And I kind of use that for everything that I plan. I'm like, something's going to go wrong. Oh, okay.
On my wedding, there was a traffic jam. My mom wasn't there. I got married in a church, which wasn't a Catholic church. And the person in charge of the church says, we have to go now because we have a wedding that has, it's coming in after you. And I said, I'm not going anywhere till my mom's here. I get married one time. You think my mother's not going to be here for that? I don't care what you got scheduled. And he says, we'll just cancel it. I'm like, I'm not cancel it. I'm not leaving. You'll have the police here. It'll be a nightmare. Trust me. You don't want to mess with me during this. It won't go well.
Anna says don't start smoking. Oh, man.
Oh, no.
That would be like...
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. That's like...
Not for John. For me, You'd worry about that. I don't know. Cigarettes are way too expensive. I'm so glad I
Could you go
that.
back to that?
No. First, Mark hates it.
Right.
Also, I like being able to have all the notes of my voice and be able to sing without having a chunk of it just... Oh, can't sing that anymore. I wonder why. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do. I have no idea. That's the only thing that scares me. More than anything else, that's what scares me, is the mental part of this. I'm not worried about the surgery. I'm not worried about having like a half a scrambled egg, in the beginning or whatever. I'm not worried about any of that stuff. I'm just worried about what my mind's going to want to do when everything hits the fan and I just can't go out and eat.
Are you taking that week off from work?
Yeah, I would. I never even thought about that. I haven't even really planned it out yet.
Well, the reason I'm asking, I know you're not planning on it yet, but I feel like you recording and getting behind the mic, that's almost your therapy in a lot of ways. So I would say maybe take off client work, but any episodes that you're recording that week, if you're up for it, I would say do it because that's your coping mechanism right there is you talk through things.
I would love to be able to, hopefully, after it's done, not miss an episode here.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
I'm sure everybody would love to see how you're doing.
Although I could be in here crying like a little bitch.
But okay, if you say you were in a group like this and you were watching somebody else go through that, wouldn't you want to see them crying like a little bitch after and everybody in our group is not seeing you crying as weakness. They are seeing it as this is what it's like. This is real life. Thank goodness somebody is showing me this. I had no idea before and now I can understand and I can make these decisions for myself.
Of course, I'd want to see somebody crying like a little bitch. That's the fun part of watching this. But I don't want to be
I'm trying to be nice about it. You're like, oh, yeah.
As far as client work, I didn't think about it. I mean, like all my clients know that. And, I'm going to probably say to them, you're going to have to start getting me stuff earlier because I'm going to have to make some kind of movement, where I'm going to block off this. I think I'm probably just going to take the first week off. And then after that, just kind of get back to normal. I don't want to be sitting around moping or whatever. I have to be focused on something. I can't, idle hands does the devil's work. Isn't that how it goes? Yeah, can't have that.
Idle hands are the devil's playground.
Something like that.
It's true.
Right.
If I have nothing to do and I'm bored, that's where I go to dark places in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's ADHD. We need stimulation all the time.
Yeah, I agree with you. So, all right. How about you? What was your week like? Since we spent a whole half an hour on me.
No, this was really important. I knew we wanted to talk about you. I didn't have much go on this week. I did have a little idea before I stepped on the scale this morning, though. And I was dreading it because last week, if you remember, I was up 3 pounds. And it was Shark Week. I'm usually up 2 pounds every week. But for some reason, that 3 pounds... I think it's because I'm so close to a new second number that it's really pissing me off that I can't get over that hump. And it's been 4 weeks of being so close. So this morning instead, I decided, okay, before I step on the scale, I need to take an assessment of how I feel right now, because my emotions before I step on the scale is, this better go down. This better fucking go down. If it doesn't go down, I swear to God, I will throw this scale across the room. And I'm like, that's no way to get on the scale. I need to stop that. So,
Or film it.
or film it. So I took a few deep breaths. I closed my eyes and I did. So when I do my deep breaths, I actually have this on my to-do list every day. It's called release, and I check it off when I do it. And all it is taking a deep breath in and breathing out as much air as I can. And while I'm breathing out, I just say release, either in my head or out loud. And I do that a few times. And afterwards, I kind of set my intention for what I'm going to do next. And it's something that I do usually in the middle of the day when stuff has already happened and I still need kind of that second wind to get through the next half of the day. So I do that every day. This time I did it right before I got on the scale. And I also do it at the end of yoga. So that helps that I did it at the end of yoga and took my deep breath, got on the scale. And also I had in my head the intention that I was setting as I was going, release. Okay, I want positive indifference to whatever number is on that scale, whether it's up or down. I tried my hardest. That number doesn't define me. I've gotten more comfortable with stepping on the scale and seeing those numbers, but it's a long process because I'm working on getting rid of these thought patterns that I've developed for 36 years. And only this past year is when I've really started focusing on changing them. Because what's the phrase? Only an idiot does the same thing over and over again and expects a different result.
Yeah, it's the definition of
insanity.
Insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Yeah. So I get so angry right before I step on the scale. And then not to say that that anger gives me the bad result, but no matter what that number is, unless it's a real drastic difference, I'm just kind of let down. And I don't want that anymore because, again, the scale went down because it's no longer Shark Week, but not maybe as much as I wanted it to. But I had to be okay.
Quick question. Since we started this podcast and we've evolved in the time that we've been here, and I'm realizing more and more that the scale is not it doesn't define you, or it's not a measurement of progress.
Yeah.
It's a measurement of mass. And whatever that mass is, fluid or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's really not a measurement of progress. So at the end, we do our weigh-in, okay? But the whole beginning of the show that we talk about, we skirt around what we do. And I'm just throwing this out there because I'm thinking on my feet. What if we just came on, did our weigh-in, and then talked about, I don't know. I mean, how would people feel about that? Like if we just came in and said, okay, I jumped on and I don't know, +2, and this is why I think this happened, and this is what this is where I'm at with this, and I don't know. But I mean, waiting till the end, we kind of dance around what we really want to talk about because we can't give that number. And does that number mean anything?
That's the thing. I think I like it at the end because it shouldn't mean as much. So, and I think we've asked before if we should do it at the beginning or at the end. And I
think everybody wants it at the end.
Yeah, they like it at the end, which makes sense. But it's also interesting to not focus on that number and just focus on what we've been doing that week.
Yes.
Even though sometimes we do skirt around it and it's like, oh, well, it finally paid off, or it's not exactly what I wanted, but I want to keep doing it because it's interesting to see our progress, and it does really motivate me. I think if we weren't keeping track of how much we've lost, it would be like, not why are we doing this, but it's a really nice motivator to see that number. Like right now, we're at a total of 69 pounds as of last week that we've lost total. That's 69 pounds between two of us. I don't know if I could pick up 69 pounds. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot of weight. When you think about it, not just as a number, but as the actual weight of something. I mean, I think my kid is 30 pounds and that it's two of him that we lost. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, it is a lot of weight. Yeah. But I'm just saying, it's like today when I got on the scale, I was disappointed because, and then I thought to myself, well, there's no way, because I was on the scale yesterday and it was a completely different number. And I was like, there's no way that you gained that much weight in 24 hours. It's just not. It's fluid and it's, because you're swollen. It's all that.
And if we did a daily show, imagine if we did a daily show and we weighed ourselves every single day, then you would see the craziness right now. The fluctuation. Right now, our fluctuations are like -1, -1, 0, +3, and then back and forth. And these seem like drastic changes, but if we were going every single day, it would be plus a half a pound, minus a half a pound, minus 0.3 of a pound. It would be so boring and so tedious, and you wouldn't have those chunks to actually wrap your head around. And honestly, I wonder, because we don't actually say our weight, I wonder if maybe just saying we've lost 2 pounds, that's something to celebrate. Even though to us, maybe we're thinking, well, I should have lost 3, or I should have lost 4, or, well, I gained 8 pounds last week and I only lost 2. And then we get mad at ourselves for that.
Yeah, because I felt like I had a really good week. Even when I was having issues with eating, there was more control in the binging. There was more control, which I thought was a really good thing. Then you get on the scale and you're like, ugh, I expected more, or I expected something different. Or I was having a really good week and I just stepped on the scale and it was like, what the hell? How did that happen? Where did that come from?
And you also never know. There are flukes. There are so many different things that can affect that weight on the scale. So yeah, that's what I had to do. I had to do some breathing and release the outcome and kind of let go of any expectations I had for that outcome. And when I got on the scale, I saw a number, I wrote down the number, and then I moved on. And that was really nice. And then another thing that is really important when you're doing this releasing, at least with your breath, and kind of thinking of, okay, I released this stuff that's in my head that I don't need anymore. I don't want these limiting beliefs anymore. And you release that, the best thing to do right after is have gratitude. So as soon as I stepped on the scale and I wrote down the number, I got off the scale and I started thinking, I'm thankful for my husband. I'm thankful for my kids. I'm thankful for this house. I'm thankful I get to do a podcast. I'm thankful for my health. I'm thankful I got to wake up today with nothing sore, nothing hurting. I got to walk to the scale. I got to get my water. I got to do my yoga. And all of a sudden, as soon as I said that, that number on the scale meant nothing. It meant absolutely nothing to me. And it was really, really good feeling to have that at the very end of thinking, wow, I have all these great things. And that number is just a number. It's there. It's gone. I get to talk about it in a little while, but I'm more excited that I get to talk about, wow, this gratitude feels better than any number on that scale could possibly feel.
I get that. Anna says that, she weighs herself weekly, not daily, because of body fluctuations. And I can see that with women more.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But, with me, I started doing that. And then what would happen was it would get away from me because I wasn't thinking it. I wasn't thinking about it more as much as I should. So that's why I decided to weigh myself like 2-3 times a week, just to make sure that, that I could catch myself. What I didn't want to do and what I'm not doing is, okay, holy cow, I have to, do the show in 3 days. I'm not eating or drinking anything in 3 days just so I can make that number go down. So for the show. And then as soon as the show's over, just go and binge because I'm so starving. And then after, as soon as the show's over by 3:00, that weight's right back and then some. So I didn't want that unhealthy behavior to be driven because of the scale. So that's why, but I still need some kind of a reminder or just, I don't know. I use it as a tool. I use the scale as a tool, not as progress, if that makes sense. It makes sense to me. I use it as a tool to see how I'm doing, but I don't hang my hat on it. To me, it's more about not binging, making better food choices, making better lifestyle choices, trying to get in more exercise, that being in a better mental state.
I think you have one of the best analogy for tools that I've heard you use about podcasting tools on She Podcast before. And you say this new thing that we're doing, or in this situation, the scale is just a tool. And you equate it to a hammer and how you could kill somebody with a hammer, but you could also build a house.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I used it on Sheep Podcast, but I did use it on one of my podcasts.
There was one podcast where I heard you use it. Maybe it was brilliant observation.
I said, everything is, you can use anything for good and evil. A hammer you can kill somebody with, or you can build a house. It depends on how you use it. Same thing with the scale. Scale could be detrimental to you if you do crazy things just to make a number, or you can use that as a tool to see where you are and then adjust accordingly.
And move on.
Yes.
Yeah. You have to move on and keep going about your day. That scale doesn't define you.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't define your day. No one else but you knows that number. So it's not like all of a sudden you're walking out and because you're conscious of that number, it's not like everybody is looking at you like, oh, she clearly gained 3 pounds. Oh, God, she is hideous. I can't be friends with her anymore. So gross.
It was on Sheepy. I can't remember why I would use. I can't remember why I would use it on Sheepy.
It was for a podcasting tool. Maybe it was Podcoin. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
There was
maybe
something like that. Yeah.
I was philosophizing.
You were.
Who knows? I forget what I say 5 minutes after I say it. Hey, why don't we get into some Winning Wednesdays?
We have some great Winning Wednesdays this week. Yeah.
Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday.
Anna, after losing 29 pounds, my favorite top fits again. Whoop! Lost 3 pounds in my weigh-in, too. Not any sugar has passed my lips in 23 days. Wow!
That's a lot of winnings in that Wednesday right there.
Yeah, that's a big Wednesday. Congratulations.
Yeah, Ingrid said I lost 0.6 pounds.
Yay! Julianne said she did a 30 minutes on the stationary bike after a week off. Back to my schedule.
Wendy said I hit a new second number.
Ooh.
Go into the second number. Set a new one, a lofty one. It might take a few months, but she will get there.
And welcome, Wendy. There's a little hand waving next to your name, so I know you're a new member in the group. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, and I didn't want to use the numbers because I think that that's just for here.
Yeah, well, yeah. Brenda said, went to my first land class at the gym. I usually go to water aerobics. Oh, I get it. Okay. I was like, wait, what's a land class? Okay. Usually go to water aerobics. Oh, cool.
You know what? Water aerobics. I'll have to look into that. That might be a good idea. Amy says I walked 5 days in a row. Also, I had a Winning Wednesday stuck in my head all day.
I'm sorry. Oh, no. More people responded. Brenda said, oh, man, now the tune is in my head, too. I'm sorry.
I'm not going to lie. Sometimes when I know it's Wednesday, I'm walking around, Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday. I do. I sing it. Doesn't make you a bad person.
Oh, Jason said, started using my Fitness Pal and John approved the friend request. Someone else didn't. But I also walked to the grocery store to pick up a few things and got a 1.4 mile distance as a result. Sure, it took me 30 minutes to get some eggs, but that's fine with me. And I was like, Jason, wait, is that me? I haven't been on my Fitness Pal in maybe a year and a half or something.
Yeah, and if you're not going to use it, what's the sense of being there, right?
I know. I mean, I'll try to open it up. I think it's on my old phone. I don't have it on this phone.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Brendan says I was wondering what went wrong for my belt to get so tight. Then I realized it was because I'm in another notch.
That is exciting.
There you go. They are our Winning Wednesdays. So we're done with that. And you know what that means.
Ladies and gentlemen, now is the time for the moment you have all been waiting for. It's time for the weigh-in.
Okay, it is an odd week. And because Emily has 5 letters, I get to go first. And I am down 2 pounds. And yeah.
Okay, so I was wondering why there's a hesitation in your voice.
I don't know. I don't know why I'm so disappointed I didn't go down the whole 3 pounds, but I've kind of already dealt with that this morning with my whole like breathing in, release, get on the scale. Okay, that number's over. I'm like, okay, I'm down 2. I'm glad.
Yeah, I don't think that's a big deal at all.
No, it's not.
No. I mean, you're down and we knew that. We knew that was going to happen. So that's great.
Yeah.
All right. So I am down 2 pounds.
Woohoo!
Now, why? Yeah. Okay. So why I was a little upset was when I got on the scale. Let's see. What's today? Thursday. When I got on the scale on Monday, I was down 4 pounds. So somehow, and I think I didn't weigh myself yesterday. I should have. I figured I would be down. I was hoping for another 6 because usually if I'm down 4, on Monday, by Thursday, I'm down like another 2.
You probably wouldn't have liked the scale yesterday if you didn't get enough sleep.
That's true. I didn't get much sleep. And then, I had to drink that stuff. And I don't know how it's affected me, whether it's, I'm retaining fluid or not. So that's why I'm not really, when I got on the scale, I was like, I was down more than what I was, but I'm still down 2 pounds. So that's not a big deal, But again, I feel like I had a decent week. And
we are grateful for these 2 pounds that we have each lost.
Yes.
We are grateful for
right. Because I was hoping for another 6 or something like that. I was really, because I felt like I would see again. This is where we use the scale as a measurement of success. I still had a good week. I still kept my binging somewhat under control. And I felt progress this week. And then when I got on the scale, I didn't feel progress. And I think that's where it's like, that's it. I've been doing everything right. And I get on this thing. And the next thing you know, it doesn't do anything. I've had it. You can't do that.
No.
Not at all. So, next week, I feel like I'm rolling now. There was a while there I was really, really struggling in the middle. And now with, deciding the surgery, after my first initial of, oh my God, I'm going to go get surgery. I'm never going to be able to eat anything again. After I weathered that storm, I feel like I'm back on track again. And I'm happy with it. So, all right, everyone. I guess that is it for this week. Thank you so much for joining us. And if we are over 200 members strong now, so if you want to join us, we're on Facebook at, you can go to hate2wait.com/Facebook and join us. And, here's the thing. I got to tell you. So I have to find out whether I have to look in the group because somebody messaged me privately about being in the group and wanted me to be in a research project. So I'm not 100% sure if that person was someone you booted or not.
Oh, I don't think so.
Yeah. And they were going to pay me to be in this research group. I'm like, I don't know if I want to be paid for anything like that. So I didn't accept it. I didn't accept the message. But anyhow, I have to double check. But besides that, it's really a good group.
Let John know if it's legit. If you listen to the show and you're listening to him questioning, and if you've gotten this far in the show, then we know you're a fan.
Right.
And then let John know.
Yeah, just let me know. Because I was like, I don't know. Who is this person sliding into my DMs? Yeah, I mean, just if you're going to ask me in the group thing. Although, I don't know. Emily might have got protective and bounced you. I don't know. But anyhow,
I didn't see anything.
I know. It wasn't
I only
there.
bounced like 3 people, and they were all friends with each other, and they were mean to people in the group. That is who I
that's
bounced.
it.
If I see you're mean, I don't even give you a warning or send you a message. Like,
boom,
0 tolerance there. Because this is a group. I am so proud of this Facebook group and just how loving and supportive everyone is in here. And as soon as I see something like, are you trying to get in this group and sell us something? Because I will boot
why would you come in here and be mean? That's what we can have that on the outside.
That's more on them than it is on us.
I know, I get it. I get all
us.
that, but I'm just saying it just doesn't make any sense. You hear the show. Why would you come in here and be mean? It's not what we do. So, anyhow, we'll be back next week with more jocularity on weight loss. Have a good week, everyone.
Bye.